Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
This is a bogus story. It's a clickbait article.
Well,
I didn't win any awards.
I don't know. Already a fan favorite across the natural state, Barrett is now the undisputed national voice of college sports excellence.
Wow.
That is an actual fake news article.
There's a lot of that out there, but
It is total and complete clickbait.
No, but here's the thing. Now, if we just follow the way of the world, we'll make it true.
This is the same place that reported my death.
Yes,
like
if you think
4 or
about
5
it,
months
how
ago.
remarkable
Chuck and
is
Bo
that?
show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night, love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo
There we
show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
In the words of the late, great Tom Petty, the waiting is the hardest part. Yeah. I went there right off the bat this morning. The waiting is the hardest part. All day long yesterday, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this for the game. I'm going to talk to this guy. We're going to do this. And then I'm thinking, it's only Monday. And, of course, now it's Tuesday, but no game until Saturday night.
Dazzling us with lyrics.
Well, yes. That's
morning.
going to the well this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, there's a cup of coffee and some Tom Petty for
That's
you.
right. That's right.
I was just thinking of what a year it's been. You died during the show one day.
Yeah, I know.
We learned of your death during
I know.
the show.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's it been like ever since then for
It's
you,
a
Chuck?
banner year. Well, every day's a
Has
blessing.
it given you a
You
new
know,
sense?
I mean, every day's a
Have you
blessing.
lived like you're dying?
Yeah.
Has it given you a new sense
yes.
of gratitude and
Yeah.
just living in the moment?
Yeah,
And
there you go, Tom Petty. I thought he was going to go to Tim McGraw.
I didn't know Chuck was going to do this today. You got to give me a heads up on the songs, Chuck.
Yeah. I'm tired of all the emails getting blocked on YouTube. I get an email every day after the show. Your show has been blocked in a certain region by YouTube.
Really?
Well, because of the music.
Really?
You
I didn't know that.
You can't play unlicensed music on YouTube.
So we just committed a violation.
Not here.
Did we just commit a violation?
No, we're talking about other countries around the world, like smaller countries.
Yeah.
Occasionally, when if we play something from AC/DC, it gets blocked in America. But that's the only. That's the only.
We pretty much can't play AC/DC.
Give me a country we get blocked.
Yeah, where are we blocked?
Indonesia.
I had no idea.
Give me 1 second here. I'll tell you.
Name a country, Chuck. A small country.
Are we blocked there?
Croatia.
Croatia. Oh, Croatia's a beautiful place.
Are we blocked in
So I've
Croatia?
Home
heard.
of Tony Kukoc.
Yes.
And beautiful beaches. People don't realize beautiful beaches in Croatia. Not that I've been.
I was gonna
but
say.
I've seen pictures.
I've never been there.
Yeah. So let's see.
I had no idea they did this. This is a whole new world for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are out there in this whole new world.
Well, I was going to say that's a kind way of saying
Russia.
AI.
Russia. We're banned in Russia.
That's
in
fantastic.
some.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's like
Wear that like a badge of honor.
if we,
Of course we're banned in Russia. Are you kidding me?
if jet aircraft called us and said, "Hey, we want to take you to Russia on a Citation X at no cost to you. You guys just come along and experience the joy of flying in this amazing aircraft and this amazing experience. We need you to do one show in Russia. Are you in?"
I'd have to have some kind of guarantee that plane's coming back. That would be
Like I've read the Brittany Griner story.
flying over there and all that stuff would be okay. It's the getting back part.
Yeah.
Belarus,
That's right.
another country.
Belarus.
Also,
We're
right,
out, huh?
right there next door to Russia.
Really?
Well, we're streaming.
Now, how did we offend
We're
them?
streaming everywhere.
With Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Really?
Yeah, CCR.
Playing CCR got us banned in both
Eddie's-
Russia and Belarus.
Eddie's responsible for a
Ooh,
lot
I
of it.
hadn't thought about that.
Eddie in Clarksville is responsible for a lot of it.
We're blaming Eddie.
He comes in with the lyrics, but you went right out of the gate today. By the way, we didn't hear from Eddie on Monday.
Well, I'm
Must
sure he
have
was
been
still in some kind
Probably,
of,
probably burned down the
passed
weekend.
out,
Yeah, he probably,
he
burned down the weekend.
He just overloaded.
and had to take Monday.
Or he had to work.
Got to kind of regroup. But now we know Arkansas will play at 6:00
Saturday night. It's forever from now.
on ESPN.
Yes.
Against LSU.
LSU.
The two favorites to win the College World Series are playing each other.
Yeah.
What a bracket.
Yeah, that's it's part of putting a bracket together is not just the seeding; it's the balance of power. And even Bart brought this up, like before they ever played a game, that you looked at what would be the our side of the bracket ultimately, and it was pretty. I mean, it was imbalanced. Let's just put it that way, or so it seemed.
So the winner of the Arkansas LSU game would play Murray State, who knocked off
How about that?
Duke last night. That was a wild finish.
You want to talk about heartbreak? What is it? 7 times now? Duke's been to the last game to go to Omaha in the history. 6 or 7 times they've been in that last game to go to Omaha, and they've lost every one of them. They've not been since '61. It's been like 6 or 7 times since then. They've been there, right there at that game.
That's different than losing at the college.
That's right. It is.
I mean,
they can't get there.
At some point, it all is kind of relative. You want to win whatever level you've gotten to multiple times, but to not get there.
Whereas Arkansas and LSU are going to play in the first round of the College World Series, and every year at LSU they expect to win the national championship, and they've expected it here since 2018.
Dave Van Horn, we got so many little nuggets today.
Yeah, we do. We got a lot.
Dave Van Horn is the active leader in College World Series appearances among college baseball coaches.
I believe that.
How about this? Here are the World Series trips that Arkansas has experienced under Dave Van Horn, dating back to 2009, 09, 12, 15, 18, 19, and 22. According to the article and the research that was done at WholeHogSports.com that I read this morning, no other program in the span of 09 to 25 has been able to escape a 4-year gap of going to the College World Series. Arkansas is the only program since 09 that's never gone 4 years and not gone to the College World Series. I'm going to say that one more time. Arkansas is the only college baseball program since 2009 to not experience a 4-year vacancy of Omaha.
It was somewhere around 2010 when Arkansas's recruiting just went to the next level. I mean, 2010, 2011, I may have my years mixed up. They could probably point much more specifically than I can. But Arkansas got good players. I mean, really good players before, 15 years ago, basically. But it has ratcheted up to, and I mean, it's just been a crescendo. And Arkansas in the last particularly 5, 8, 10 years, they're getting the best players in the country. I would equate it to what Cal's bringing in basketball. Arkansas has been doing that in baseball for a pretty good period of time now. And there's a level of we're talking, we've had Golden Spikes winners, 2 of them, and got a finalist for another. So I can tell you that for years and years and years, the thought of Arkansas having somebody in the running for the Golden Spikes 3 years in a row, that just didn't happen. And that's no knock against anyone. It just shows that the level of player that they started signing around then was just off the charts.
There's got to be a better way to say this than I am, because it's something you should share with your friends. But since 2009, Arkansas is the only team to go at least every 3 years. Nobody else has done it.
It's amazing.
None of the powers that you can even think of, like anybody you could imagine to name, they haven't done it. Only Arkansas.
June 21st, by the way.
Have they already voted on the Golden Spikes? Bart is in the Chevy of Fayetteville Golden Spikes Situation Room.
June 21st is when the winner will be.
Have they already have the votes already been in? Have we reached the deadline? People are asking. People around town.
Fan voting runs through June 12th. The award will be decided by a varied voting body, including national baseball media, select professional baseball personnel, and USA Baseball staff, and the previous winners of the award. So I don't really know what the fan vote
do we
has
have a
anything
vote?
to do with.
Do we have? Did you send our vote in?
Who are the Golden Spikes voters?
Are we a voter? Are we Golden Spikes? Is Clay a Golden Spikes voter?
That I do not know.
It's Clay. Did he write Cam Kojo in? as a write-in nominee? I mean, he could. It would be deserved. But Vahiva Aloy's dad, Jamie's going to be on the show. He'll be in studio later. What a year it's been for the Aloy brothers. And Vahiva led the Baum Stadium walk of the concourse and then the hog pen. They released on social media 6 minutes, Chuck.
I saw that.
Of the journey. It's so freaking awesome.
You know, you think, too, about, and we just kind of touched on it yesterday. I think Clay Goodwin brought it up. You've got brothers. You know, you've got two brothers that are going to play in the College World Series together. I'm sure it's happened before, but I'm sure it doesn't happen that often either. So for that family and you know, let's be honest, they're a long way from home. I mean, they're a long way from home. And I don't know if 10 years ago around the Aloy household, Arkansas ever came up. But you know, it's just really been one of the neat stories of the season.
June 21st. That is in the middle of the championship series or the beginning of it.
Right.
That's the
it
first
happens
game.
right before, yeah.
Well,
So
remember
they
last
hand
year?
the award out right before the game. Is that what happens?
Well, I mean, there's like a TV ceremony or something.
Like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, got his MVP trophy right before the playoff game.
They used to give the regular season championship trophy out before one of the tournament games. I don't know
I'm
if
just
they still do
pounding
that.
Bart with questions.
Yeah, I mean, look,
This
this is not the Heisman Trophy. They don't have just all this
What do
information
you want from me?
easily
I mean, what do you want from
available.
me?
I'm having to dig deep
Well,
here.
here's it's a new segment, Chuck. What are people asking you
Stone
around
Bart.
town? No, what happens is I get asked questions around town.
Yeah.
You get asked questions around town.
Yeah.
You probably have more answers than I do.
No, I just
My answer is generally I don't know. I'll have to talk to Bart.
Yeah, I get the most question. The question I get the most often is what's Bart really like? You know, what's it like working with Bart?
This happened maybe 15 years ago, where up until about 15 years ago, I felt like I had to know virtually everything.
Yeah.
You know, I would read everything I could get my hands on, and I still try to read quite a bit, but my eyesight's failing me. I need my readers from, McDonald Eye. But about 15 years ago, I realized I don't have to work this hard. I hired Bart. And Bart knows everything. And Bart is the guy. And Bart takes tremendous pride in knowing everything.
I know.
And
That seemed like a shot.
No.
That seemed like a shot.
I think
So
it's
we hired-
great because here's the deal.
Here we go.
As Bo's saying, there's no pressure to know everything because Bart's going to know. No, I
Seriously.
think it's great.
I listen to national shows, and they sit here and they just guess. They don't know, and they're like, well, is that the same? Is it? Well, and they're like guessing on the air, going back and forth. And we do that for about 10 seconds, and then we realize you're over there in the situation
right.
room. And then you just find out for it.
And he
When
scoffs
we
at our lack of
When
knowledge.
we started the show today, we didn't even know when the Golden Spikes Award was going to be announced. Now we're in the weeds.
And I
on
didn't
all
know
kinds
we'd
of
been
things.
barred in Belarus and Russia. I had no clue.
Yeah.
The Golden Spikes Award will be presented June 21st on ESPN at 5:30 Central prior to first pitch of Game 1 of the Men's College World Series
Okay.
Finals.
Now we know.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that. For a guy having to play in the game or just is he going to find out right then that he won or didn't win? I don't like that.
I think they need to make more of a presentation out of it, a la the Heisman
Yeah.
Trophy.
Save it
Last
for
year,
afterwards.
you remember last year you sent me a picture of the Golden Spikes presentation.
Oh, yeah.
These players, I mean, they're wearing polos. They look like they just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
Some of them did.
Right.
I mean, their hair was wet.
Not
And
about this.
they put on, and you could tell they'd been handed a polo by the sports information directors. They walked in the room. They probably changed shirts in the room. And then they all said, nah, look, I'm serious about this.
Do a better job.
I'm serious about this
Hagen
now.
Smith was one of them.
That's why I sent the picture.
I'm entirely serious about this. You've got to make a better presentation on that if you want it to be recognized the way you would like it to be
As
recognized.
prestigious as it really is and should be.
All right, it's summertime. You don't have to put on a tie. Put on a jacket. I mean, seriously.
It's got to be in Nantucket.
Seriously.
They need to have it in Nantucket.
I mean, if you want to, I mean, you.
Martha's Vineyard.
Over there where the Cape Cod League is.
Well,
They
I
need
don't
to
know
have it
about
over there.
that.
You got to have loafers on, kids.
I think they should have it around the College World Series. That's when the college game gets its most attention. But I mean, step
Hold
it up
on,
just a little bit on
We're
that.
on to something.
All right,
Chuck's
all right.
dress code for the Golden Spikes: a seersucker jacket, loafers
No, I'm
with
not
no
saying
socks,
that. I'm not saying that.
high water pants. If your pants touch your shoes, that's not going to fly. Let's class this thing up a little bit.
Well,
This
I'm
Golden
just saying.
Spike thing.
I'm just saying that they could.
It's going to be.
I like an event and a
gonna be a
presentation
Cape
when
May.
it comes to something
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
you can't have
Did it at
like
the
this.
Bushes,
This is again why organizations need like a
Bush family compound.
This is why organizations
Presidents.
need a CEO of common sense or a chief common sense officer, because like why in the world are you having this right before the College World
I know.
Series
Stick
finals?
with the dress code.
when-
I'll go back to that. You said a tie. I think that's a little much. Can we go back and forth? Like, can we do the Cape and then maybe do Jupiter Island one year? Like, at the beach club on Jupiter Island.
I'm
we try
saying
that.
give it away in Omaha and act and dress like you're going to something important. That's all I'm saying. Just
Tom-
dress
and Tom-
like you're going to
and Tom
something
Hart-
important.
Tom Hart needs to host it.
Well, I
From
don't
the
care.
Tilly
who
Willy.
hosts it.
Actually, it needs to be on the Tilly Willy Bridge.
Jeez, you're delirious now.
I'm just visualizing how to make the Golden Spikes Awards.
That's fine. That's fine.
Prestigious.
That's fine.
I love where you're headed with this. You're right. Last year, it looked like there were 3 hostages, and one of them was going to be given freedom if they were handed the award. That's what it looked like.
It looked like a high school athletic banquet, and there's nothing
I
wrong with
swear,
that. But
Hagen
you're giving
Smith-
away the top award in the sport, in the college sport. You're on national television.
It's a big deal. The presentation's terrible. You're right. I swear Hagen Smith was holding up a newspaper with the date on it. It's 6:18. Good morning.
Bo, when your show went off a few years ago, it was like I've been lost ever since then. And I just really appreciate your show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
Particularly in the South, I'm not sure there's a title that carries more weight than coach. Maybe preacher.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everybody wants to win. When you, as a fan or a person or whoever, make everything about winning, you're saying that only winning is acceptable. And I guarantee you, you don't win every single day.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Winning every day. Every single
That's
day.
a book. Are you going to write that book, Bart?
I very easily
the
could.
The title of the book's going to be Winning Every Day.
Winning
the first
every
sentence of the book is going to say, "You lying bastard." That's what. But that would be so Bart. Winning every day. The opening line. You're a loser. That would be so you.
You're a loser and you know it.
Now let's get down to the bottom of this. Nobody wins every day. The fact that you picked up this book explains exactly how much you need it.
You're a sucker.
And I'm here to help. That's perfect, man. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the bracket's set. And Arkansas wins. They play the winner of the UCLA-Murray State game. So the 4 teams in Arkansas side of the bracket, besides them, the other 3, UCLA, Murray State, LSU.
Did you see the end of the Murray State game last night?
I heard
how it ended.
I heard it.
They called interference.
Double dogpile.
And then they dogpiled. And then they went to replay. And they came back and overturned the call, which they should not have done.
You can't undogpile a dogpile.
Well, and then they won it again, although everybody, I think, watching had visions of, like, Oregon State in 2018 in Omaha. It's like, well, this guy's going to hit a home run. He's going to hit a home run. They've dogpiled. And but Murray State ended up winning the game. 4 seed. A 4 seed in their region.
They dogpiled again?
Well, it was kind of half a dogpile. They celebrated, a couple of them dog pile, but they'd already been through the big emotional part, and I'm sure they were a little bit gun shy. It's like, are they they're going to put time back on the scoreboard or what?
Boy, it doesn't just happen to Arkansas. Things like that. The part about dogpiling and then having to play after that.
Yes.
How do you find your glove?
I mean, their shirts are all untucked and all that stuff.
You're so disheveled. And then you got to go finish the game.
Yeah, you got to go earn another out, which is not easy.
The hardest out to get in baseball.
That's right. In another team's park, when everybody's going crazy, and you got a guy that can hit a home run at the plate. I mean, it was. I mean, I hate to sit there. That was terrible umpiring, but boy, that would have been an awful, awful way to lose a game.
What was the call, by the way?
Well, they called interference. Guy went in hard to second base. They called the double play. They called the guy out at first. And the guy slid through the bag, and he came in high. It was the correct call. But I guess they just didn't want to end the game on a call like that. I don't know. But they very generously allowed the game to continue. Yes, because, I mean, he slid through the bag, and he came in high. And according to the college rule, that is interference. And to me, it was clearly interference, but they saw it differently.
So they had a runner on first.
Yeah,
it
hit into a double play.
But what
ball.
I mean is after the ruling.
After the ruling, there was a runner at
and
first.
And they were up?
And the winning run was at the plate.
Oh, yeah. So they didn't just have the tying run at the plate.
No, they had the winning run.
Home run, it's a walk-off.
Home run, game over.
Bart is in the Chevy Fayetteville Situation Room.
So Murray State, their baseball stadium holds 800 people.
Yeah.
And they're
just for reference, Rogers Heritage, who hosted the state 6A championship, a few weeks ago, is like 750, 800.
Yeah.
In the grandstand.
I think this place has a dugout, a concession stand, and a section of metal bleachers they stole from football. That's basically their ballpark.
Their head coach, Dan Skirka, cuts the grass.
He does. He mows the lawn.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's
so,
big.
I mean, shout out Murray State.
Yeah, absolutely.
What a story.
Right. Coastal Carolina is not really a Cinderella.
No, they've won a national title in the last
2017.
decade.
Yeah. But Murray State's in there as a Cinderella. And, of course, they're also on Arkansas' side of the bracket.
Yep.
I mean, gosh.
Coastal Carolina's playing really well. They're on the other side. If I was handicapping this thing right now, I'd say Coastal Carolina and the winner of the Arkansas-LSU game.
Coastal Carolina, Arizona, Oregon State, Louisville. That's the top 4-team regional that'll happen in Omaha. That starts Friday.
Right.
And then the Arkansas side of the bracket, UCLA, Murray State's the first game, Arkansas, LSU the second game. That's a 4-team double elimination regional. So that we've set it up, Chuck. There it is. That's the scene.
That's right.
Here in Omaha.
That's it.
At Rocco's Jello Shot.
Yeah. Did you see where Wally was? Wally wrote about the Jello shot competition today in the paper.
I saw Wally's column, and the headline was, let me make sure I get it right, because I don't want to misrepresent this. Arkansas baseball trending in a good direction.
Yeah, I saw that headline. Oh wow, who knew? Who knew? I mean, that was. I
didn't feel the need to read it.
Ripped from the headlines.
Amen.
We're going to do our show today. Ripped from the headlines.
That's
trending
bad
in the right
copy
direction.
editing right there. That's
Sure.
some bad copy editing.
They sure are.
Who says Little Rock doesn't have their finger on the pulse of Northwest Arkansas? I mean, who says they're not paying attention?
They sure are. Headed in the right direction, in a good direction. in
Yeah.
fact. Brent is in Searcy. Brent, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Brent, not headed in a good direction.
Brent got tired of waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he
He'll
had
be
to check
back.
out of the Holiday Inn.
He'll be back.
He had to check out of the Holiday Inn
He'll
by
be back.
7. 877-377-6963 if you want to text or
Well,
call the show.
It gives us a chance to talk about WT equipment while we wait on Brent.
on National Frosted Cookie Day.
Really?
No less.
Wow.
Which, if I know the folks at WT Equipment, not only are they in there talking about the baseball team today, but they probably have some frosted cookies.
Well, they do.
You went there instead of National Forklift Day, which would
You know-
make a lot more sense.
They don't have forklifts inside the building.
Okay.
But, yeah, that would have been good. But I was reading left to right.
Okay.
And somehow I skipped right over that, and I was choosing as I was stalling for Chuck.
Yeah, thank you.
Whether
I finally got
whether I
it.
wanted to go with National
I'm on the
Frosted
right
Cookie
page.
Day or National Egg Roll Day. And you're right. Right in the middle of that was a bobcat, which can be found at WT Equipment.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it can. I was scrambling
I'm
through
a
the book.
professional.
The game within the game here. As Bo was stalling for me, as he was giving me time to find the right copy. I'm like, there's Yingling. How WT Equipment should be right behind that. And then it dawns on, well, W's before Y.
Well, let me tell
So,
played by England. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, WT Equipment, that's who we're talking. Yeah, I knew him as Williams Tractor for years, and they came in and said WT Equipment, and same operation. I mean, and same great service, locally owned, family owned. 8 locations across Arkansas. Now, whether you're managing a job site or you're running a farm or you're just taking care of your own land, WT Equipment has the tools to get it done. And I mean trusted brands, New Holland, Hunter, Steel, and the legendary Bobcat. And they've got an expert staff as well. So stop by your nearest WT Equipment location or visit WTEquip.com and get to work.
Chris in Fayetteville. You're on the news, weather, information station.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, we're full service, baby.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, real talk. You hear us talk about the Sweat 'em Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show, but also it's Father's Day. And yeah, socks are great, but how about a tune-up that actually makes you feel good? Head to the spa at Sweat 'em Cosmetic Surgery. Get a deep clean facial, laser the back hair, maybe a little Botox. Call 479-966-4174. Again, that's 479-966-4174. You deserve to look as good as you grow.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned, with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching, and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
listen up. In the fall, we knew this team could make it to Omaha. I started packing my suitcase a month ago.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, what a time.
Yeah.
Be excited, man.
I am excited.
Be excited.
I am excited.
I know.
This is going to be a fun week.
I was talking to everyone else.
You were speaking generally.
You know, it's a choice, Chuck. It's a choice.
It's a choice to have a good attitude. Is that what you're saying?
But I mean, when you have, I think you got to take advantage of the times that it's staring you right in the face. There are things, sometimes it's more challenging to get your mind there, right? But it's not always so obvious how great things are. And you have to realize that they are, even though they may not seem that way. Like, we got a lot to be thankful for. But right now, you're in the middle of going to Omaha.
That's right. People are making plans for later in the week. There's going to be a steady stream all the way up to Omaha starting Friday, I'm sure. And it'll continue on Saturday. The thing about a Saturday night game, I mean, I know it's not this way all over the state, but from northwest Arkansas, from Fayetteville, you can get there in 6 hours. And, I mean, you can get up early Saturday morning and go.
Put Bart out there on I-49. Just, a little north.
Holding up
north of Bella Vista, right there where you bypass Bella Vista. Maybe get you up there.
Get a Chuck and Bo Show sign.
Get a little tent or
maybe
one of those
Jane.
Those umbrellas where they sell watermelon alongside the road or whatever, and we just have you out there, just Omahogs, and just waving at people. Just kind of get like you've just started your journey. You're early on in your journey, and that's sort of the pick me up that you need to just kind of complete the start, the send off.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do
You
that.
really do need to stop at a roadside vegetable stand. When you get up there, Iowa, up there in Nebraska, you need to stop at one and get some corn.
I don't think the people in Iowa like me.
Bring some corn back.
Yeah, bring some fresh corn back. Sweet corn, as we like to call it.
I think, when are they, what time is the team leaving? I think we should do the show live from
tomorrow,
from
right?
the buses.
Leaving tomorrow.
We'll do that Ty Richardson video where he's right in front of that blower at the SEC tournament, and we'll do the entire show like right in front of one of the buses.
Right behind it.
Right behind.
Yeah, where we can hear the noise and smell the exhaust. It's nothing like it in the whole
then you
world.
can hear it. You can feel it. They're about to leave.
Yeah.
It's just
They always turn those buses on like
6:40. Good
2
morning.
hours.
They're about to leave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they're leaving at 10, they'll turn the buses on at like 5, so they they'll have time to cool down.
Just want to be part of the experience. Want to take people to the
Got the
experience.
fear of missing out. You want to be embedded on the team bus. You want to go with them, don't you?
No, I'm good. Yeah, that was the report. Where's the chainsaw?
Is that a chainsaw or a
Where's
fan?
the chainsaw?
It's a fan.
That was a filed report. Hey, listen, that was the beginning of the postseason right there. And of course,
See, that seems
Maybe you
so
should do it
long
again.
ago. That
Yeah.
seems so long ago
Yeah.
now. I mean, it really does.
Arkansas is one of 3 teams that's 5-0 so far in the postseason.
Is that right?
Do you know who the other 2 are?
No, I don't.
But if you try, you could just
UCLA.
Yep.
Coastal Carolina.
That's it. That's the other 2.
Okay.
Chuck,
How about that?
How about that?
Just right off the top of my head.
$5 scratch off for Chuck.
That's right.
Okay.
Put it in. That's what we're going to start doing. We're no longer having ridiculous gambles around here. Okay. From now on, everything's a scratch off.
Okay.
So, like when we say, I guarantee you, or you want to make some prediction or whatever, and what we're going to do is we get a bunch of scratch offs, and then everybody's got a jar. So, Bart, you have your jar, Edward, Chuck, me, and when you win, it comes out of the pool of scratch offs and it goes in your jar. And at
Seems
the end of the
awfully
year,
complicated. You lost me a little bit ago.
maybe there's a better idea. Maybe there's a better idea.
Yeah.
But I'm just getting.
I like the idea of rewarding good moments on the show with scratch offs.
Well, like
Okay.
Chuck, instant trivia. Bam,
I got you.
nailed it.
I got you.
Nailed it.
I got
Bam,
you.
you win a
So
scratch.
I get to scratch one off right there on the air.
You can do it right there on the
I got
spot.
you.
You can save it for Christmas.
I got you.
Is there punishment for a bad take on the show?
Well, you could have.
I'm
to,
just going
you
to start
could have
spitting
to-
stuff
We'd all
out
be
there.
broke. We'd all be broke.
Yeah, you could have. If it's so bad, you could have to, give one up.
Okay.
Yeah, to the rest of the gang. But that was a level I hadn't gotten to yet.
Well, now that you simplified it, now that it's been simplified, you make a good point, you get a scratch-off ticket.
Tell me when we have this one nailed down. I'm going to repeat this stat throughout the show.
Please do.
Tell me when
All right.
we can do it better.
Okay.
Every other program in the country that plays college baseball has had at least a 4-year gap in the 09 to 2025 span of going to Omaha, but not Arkansas. They're the only team in the country that's never gone more than 3 years from 09 to 25 and making it to Omaha. See, I still don't feel like you can take that stat and share it at dinner tonight, and we're going to perfect it until you can. We got to have an easy way.
I'm confused
to say that.
I'm confused by that a little bit because, like, Florida went to back-to-back.
They've been to 9 of 14.
But they've also had a gap between 9 and 25 of 4 years where they didn't go.
Right.
So you could go to Florida.
It's a very.
I understand it perfectly for what it's worth.
Well,
you don't think it's a good stat?
I think the wording is a little complicated.
I think
that's my point.
I know it's your point.
But I also
I'm with you.
I also think it's a valuable stat. Like, I think that's an interesting thing that you can say since 09, hey, we go at least every 3 years.
What if?
Nobody else can say that.
Say it like that. That's it. That's what I was going to say.
It just happened.
Since 2009, Arkansas has been to the College World Series at least once every 3 years, and nobody else can say that. Nobody else in the whole wide world can say that.
Give me the bang. Bang.
Sometimes you got to talk your way into it.
Yeah, that's
you just got to talk your way into it.
I thought I was going to take like the whole show.
No.
We had the first hour.
Finally. Jeez.
Oh, gosh. Whew. That's great.
Yes.
So now you could go into a First Security Bank and rattle that off.
That's right.
Just like that.
You could.
And
That's exactly right.
To make it shareable. First Security Bank is the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show. You can grill better. If you see that teal grill, you'll know you're about to have a good burger, a good smash burger or brat like we did on Friday outside of Baum Stadium. But you can also bank better. More convenient locations, friendly, Arkansas professionals helping Arkansas people with whatever your banking needs are. FSbank.com. You can bank online. First Security Bank, member FDIC. All right, quick break. We'll take calls when we come back. 6:44. It's Tuesday, right?
Yep.
National Forklift Day. Good morning. DJ Chuck.
I did that for a while.
DJ Chuck. Well, I'm talking about like at a club.
You're assuming I've not done that.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, summer's heating up, and Splash Car Wash is keeping your ride looking fresh with a special deal just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Wash and get 2 free. One for you, one for your spouse, one for a friend, or just keep them all. It's an easy way to stay clean, cool, and cruising all summer long. That's 3 top-tier washes for just $27. Text Splash Car Wash to 22322 to access this exclusive online-only offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville, inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there, maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We have a very strict goofing off policy around here. We're all for it.
Well, a certain amount's required. It's in our contract.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, man, this is what happens in the breaks. We learn a lot. Chuck's got some.
We got a big. It's
a big item coming today.
I mean, we've got
big ticket item.
We've got.
It's gonna be great for the show.
We got a big week planned on the show, so be sure you're around tomorrow. It's going to be awesome.
What is it called? The Slang-O-Matic?
Slang-O-Matic.
Oh.
It's coming. It's coming to the Chuck and Bo Show.
Bart has doubts of whether it's going to arrive based on the site you ordered it from.
I was alerted via email this morning that it's going to be here today.
There
it's
might
going
be
to
some
arrive
credit
today.
card fraud happening.
It's going to arrive today.
I had a friend who ordered 2 F1 go-karts for like $300 that never showed up.
Yeah.
This seemed like too good of a deal to pass up.
Turns out it was.
It was.
No, this is arriving today, and it's going to change this show forever.
That's going to be a summer show.
I don't doubt that.
It's going to change
embarrassing scams that
It's going to change a lot of things around here.
You bought into.
Yeah.
A night of whiskey and Amazon.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the.
My identity's been stolen.
Those stories. There's some great stories. We got to do that this summer. But we got some big plans for your arrival on the show.
Mine?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
All right, great.
Yeah, the Slang-O-Matic.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Sterling at Center Ridge. Sterling, good morning.
Hey, guys. Hope y'all having a great day. And you ain't going to have much of a summer if this team does what we expected to do. You're only going to have about a month and a half.
I know.
Not a month and a half, just about a month and a week maybe.
You are correct.
Until football start practicing.
Well, don't forget the SEC meetings right around the 4th of July weekend.
Media Day.
Yeah. Media days.
Yeah, media days. That's it. Media days.
Well, there's our talking season's already started.
Yeah, talking season.
Yeah. But, guys, y'all bringing up how often we've been to the College World Series since 2009, and we win in 2004. But it's still part of this fan base that don't know they don't know how the College World Series works. That's amazing to me. As often as we been, you still have people that watch quite a bit of baseball that don't know they don't know there's a 4-team bracket set up, and then the two winners of the two brackets meet for the best out of 3. And they've been doing this since 1999, a quarter of a century, and still there's still people that don't know. And y'all were so nice, so nice to people when they call and ask that question. And for us guys that's diehard sports fans and really follow this stuff, we'd be like,
yeah,
oh, boy, we gotta go through this again. But y'all are so gracious and kind, and Bart, y'all do such a great job. This show is amazing. I go to shows all around the country, Sirius Radio, and I'm a nut. I like it too much. It's a problem. It's a problem that I need to go get checked out. But I said that to say this, that y'all have one of the best shows in the continental United States, and I'm just proud that it's in our state. Y'all guys have a great, wonderful day.
Thank you, Sterling. That's very nice.
Thank you. Dang. Cool.
Yeah.
Like getting
checks in the mail.
Break after that.
Yeah.
We really
well,
do
it's been
appreciate
an
that.
emotional week. It's been an emotional week.
He touched on something there. Most people don't pay attention that closely. Honestly.
College baseball, despite the fact that in the South especially, it's a big deal in the spring, it's still, it's not that big a deal nationally in some quarters. So people pay attention this time of year. It's the only time they pay attention. It's just the truth.
The Hogs are getting a ring for winning that Super Regional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can get a ring too. You should celebrate the moment. If Arkansas wins a national championship, I think we should get you a ring from Blakeman's.
You guys go ahead and give me one.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Well, you got to wear it.
Well,
you got to wear a ring.
Well,
Blakeman's Fine Jewelry has that stunningly renovated retail space that's just an incredible thing. It's actually like going to a museum or something. It's so cool just to go in there and check it out. But what they're really about is marking your moments and marking occasions. And they love celebrating with the Razorbacks, marking those occasions. But anything you've got going on in life, a wedding, an anniversary, just a milestone, or maybe it was a promotion at work, you can treat yourself. The purple bag never disappoints. They're the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Chuck and Bo Show. But at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry, way more than that. It's about your story. We're about your story. We're about this Razorback baseball story. Jamie Aloy is coming up at 7:30. It's almost 7.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what on time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
If you're looking for one of these shows that just sort of eases into it in the morning, you're not quite awake for this. I mean, you might just start picking us up around 6:30 because we just dive right in.
Well, I've been up a while.
I'm not sure I'm ready for it. I'm talking to the person listening right now that their alarm goes off with the Chuck and Bo show.
Yeah.
By the way, that's half of America. I don't know if you've seen the ratings. That's half of America.
Astronomical.
It's Chuck and Bo, Fox News, and then whatever else.
And it's close at the top. Don't kid yourself.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Baseball all week long. Going to Omaha on Friday. Playing on Saturday night against LSU, 6 o'clock. You know, for real baseball fans, I don't know if you know this, the Royals are at home this weekend. They play the Athletics Friday night. So I suspect there will be some people from Northwest Arkansas, maybe other parts of the state too, that'll stop in Friday night, watch a big league game, and then head on up to Omaha.
Some people go for the whole time.
Some people do. They go to every game.
The whole experience.
Every single game.
Their opening ceremonies.
There's something about it. I mean, last night I'm watching Duke and Murray State, and I thought to myself, how many times have you – I mean, there's not many occasions you'd sit down and watch Duke and Murray State play baseball like the Cardinals are playing a big league game on the other channel, but you're watching Duke and Murray State because it's exciting this time of year.
More people are watching college softball and baseball.
I think so, yeah.
I feel like the popularity's gone up. It's grown. And if you've never been to Omaha for the College World Series, there's a feeling about it that's as close to college football as you can get with the environment. The pre-gaming, you know, when it was at Rosenblatt, I was disappointed when they moved, you know, because Rosenblatt had a true parking lot tailgate situation.
The whole street
is incredible. Yeah, I mean, it was just the whole everything around the
indescribable
stadium.
how good it was.
It really was. All the street vendors,
awesome.
the T-shirts, the tents, it was just fun. And then they built TD Ameritrade. Is that what it's still called?
No, it's
They call
Charles
it
Schwab.
Charles Schwab.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I knew I was wrong.
That's okay.
And now they've built all of these restaurants and bars just around the stadium, so you can just walk blocks and just have a great meal, run into other people, socialize, just really have an experience. And then in the game, and you could spend a week there, like a vacation, and have a great time. It literally is unlike anything else that I'm aware of.
You take Omaha for baseball, and I've never been to Oklahoma City for softball. I'm sure it's just as good, maybe a little bit smaller, but just as good. This is the ideal of college sports that we all want to hang on to. You know, and I've noticed this many times. We talk about, when it comes to basketball and football players, one of the first questions out of somebody's mouth when they're asking about a player is wonder how much they're making. I've not heard any conversation this year from Razorback, hey, wonder how much Jamie Aloy's making. The only conversation I've heard about it, period, in softball is that $1 million Texas Tech pitcher. It's the only time I've ever heard it come up. There's this ideal that we want to maintain with college sports. And baseball and softball are where we're turning right now. It's not just us. It's other people too. When you watch, like last night, that Duke-Murray State game, or even when you watch Arkansas and Tennessee, you know that's a college sporting event. You know, that's a college event. It's fun. There's passion. You don't see that kind of passion until you get, to the deep into the playoffs in professional sports.
Well, you're 100% accurate, and I don't really even think about it when I'm watching a college football game. We have all the conversations about it, but I don't turn on the TV and start looking at guys and thinking how much money they make. I watch the game. What I don't want to have happen, and I fear if we go to these super conferences, maybe we don't have
what we have now in college sports, like a Murray State, for example, that you have no interest in this game that Duke's playing in, but because Murray State's got a chance to knock off some bigger school, you're excited about it, some bigger brand, and you watch it. And that whatever these things are, and I can't even necessarily identify them, I'd probably have to think about it for a while, but I don't want to lose what we love about college sports, and sometimes we don't even know what we're doing when we say certain things that we want, like non-conference games in the SEC. There's some value to playing a Memphis or playing an Arkansas State, and not only playing SEC teams or playing an out-of-conference school like a Notre Dame. Even though the schedule's tough, there's excitement that comes with that. And what we're getting in college baseball, we cannot have just a semi-pro situation. You don't want college football to just be a lesser version of the NFL. You need it to be different. That's why we like it. And we can't even always describe what that is, but we know it when we see it. And when we watch these baseball games, it's not like watching big league baseball. Everything's done differently. There is such a team, and it's like it's more like every game most of the season is like the World Series of the MLB. It feels you don't get that passion until you get to the postseason in Major League Baseball on a regular basis.
I think
for example.
All right, go ahead.
No, that's just for example. Is my point.
I think there's some financial balance to it as well. When you talk about the level of play, for example, the level of play in college baseball is not at the major league level. These guys aren't getting paid like major leaguers. They're getting paid, but they're not getting paid like major leaguers. In college basketball, for example, you've got players who do not have NBA skill level. They are not at an NBA skill level, but they're making more as collegians than they'd make as pros. That's an imbalance.
It is.
And somewhere down the line, there's going to have to be some correction. I don't know when and how.
And I know you're right, but here's my point. I don't care until it affects how the game's played. Like, we can talk about it, but once they tip the ball off, I don't care if the guy's making $2 million, $4 million, $500,000.
Absolutely.
Until he starts acting like a professional.
Yeah.
And still he takes.
Until he misses the shot.
Till he starts acting like sometimes James Harden and he's not getting back down to the other end of the floor.
That's fair.
And he acts like I'm a multimillionaire.
That's fair.
That's
no,
what,
you're right.
Like we can talk about it, and I think we fear it eventually gets there. I'm all for the guys getting paid, but to me, it's about what's I like the product, right? As a fan, I want to watch the product, and right now, college baseball is awesome.
You know what college baseball does and college softball does? They don't do enough of in football and basketball. They engage the fans. They seem more appreciative sometimes.
Sometimes.
I can never imagine a scenario by which a college football or basketball team after a game would go parade through the stands with a trophy. Now, there's a lot more people. Might not be safe. But I
don't know. I can see the basketball team.
Maybe so. I
can see that happening.
My point is there is they engage the fans.
It's so personable. The baseball's just more personable. The whole setup makes it that way.
It is. And they've taken advantage of what is a built-in advantage. I'm not knocking the other sports at all.
I think we're talking about what we love about college sports.
I'm just saying that there is still an ideal there for most people that watch college sports. It's jaded. It's a lot different than it used to be. But there's still that ideal that these are kids. Those are our boys. Those are our young women. And this is what I see playing out. Because as Sterling said a moment ago in his call, it's not like all the people who are jumping on the bandwagon are knowledgeable baseball fans or knowledgeable softball fans. They're Razorback fans, in our case, but what they are more than anything, I think, are just people who enjoy watching what still passes for amateur athletics. Baseball and softball, you still feel like you're watching an amateur game, even though you're not, at least not fully amateur. I think that's a big part of it. I could be wrong, but I think that's a big part of it.
Well, these guys are a lot of fun, and it's going to be a great experience if you're able to go to Omaha. If you're not, you're going to have a great viewing experience, hopefully on television. And they've done nothing in this bracket to make anything easy on Arkansas.
No.
They're going to play perhaps the toughest game right out of the gate. But I don't know. Have Arkansas fans made the transition to confident? Have you made the move? Have you made the pivot from nervousness to confidence?
I think those who've watched it all year are feeling confident. I think those who are comparing it to their past football, basketball, baseball, just general Razorback experience may not be quite so confident.
It's an interest. I wonder. I'd love to hear from people. You can text or call 877-377-6963. Jamie Aloy, who's been on the show before, he's the father of Kuhio and Vahiva. Vahiva's up for the Golden Spikes Award, which will be announced June 21st, prior to the first of the finals. The first game of the finals of the College World Series. He's going to join us here at the bottom of the hour. And then at 8:30, Tony Vitello is going to be on the show. Yes, that guy, Tony Vitello. Yes, the Tennessee head coach.
That'll be interesting.
It's going to be on the Chuck and Bo show.
That'll be good.
So we're looking forward to that. Hey, if you're thinking about going to Omaha, but you can't be gone for more than a day, or, you don't want to drive, you want to get a group of people together, call Jet Aircraft. They might be able to hook you up with a charter. You can split it among friends, maybe go up and back on the same day. With Jet Aircraft, you're going to pull your vehicle all the way up to the airplane. Then they're going to valet it for you after they help you unload it and put all your luggage on the plane. They got luggage for up to 9 people. Then they're going to detail your car while you're gone. And on board, full service bar, catering options for food. You can go have an experience you'll never forget. And a convenient one at that, to Omaha and back for the College World Series. But that's not the only place. You can go anywhere with Jet Aircraft, U.S., Mexico, Canada, the Caribbean, skip the TSA lines. Maybe it's for business you need this. Whatever it is, you can also ask about the Jet Card memberships for even more perks. Wherever you're headed, whether Omaha, the College World Series, some other event, jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's, jetnwa.com.
Hold on, guys. I'm on the Chuck and Bo show. Hold on.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. There are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
Guys, real talk. You hear us talk about the Sweat 'em Edge on the Chuck and Bo show, but also it's Father's Day. And yeah, socks are great, but how about a tune-up that actually makes you feel good? Head to the spa at Sweat 'em Cosmetic Surgery. Get a deep clean facial, laser the back hair, maybe a little Botox. Call 479-966-4174. Again, that's 479-966-4174. You deserve to look as good as you grow.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
That's special.
So happy for, everybody involved with the program, especially, more than anything, the players, because they're the ones that do all the work. So happy that, they're going to finish this season in Omaha.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you need legal help, and we all do at some point.
Yep.
I haven't heard from my insurance company, by the way. I got to get this figured out.
Well,
I got to.
Somebody's getting billed. You can bet on that.
Somebody's got to defend the lawsuit. If you got this situation, you never know when it's coming. And today you wake up and you're like, I didn't know I got to deal with that. You got legal help you need. And that's what Cadell Reynolds can do for you. Personal injury, struggling to get social, security disability, whatever it is. You might have a debt issue. Like suddenly, oh my gosh, I got to get this figured out. Call the team that fights for our cans. It's Bill Reynolds and the attorneys at Cadell Reynolds know how to get results when it matters most. From car wrecks to denied disability claims to filing for bankruptcy. They've got your back. Don't face it alone. Call Cadell Reynolds, 866-314-3728, or visit CadellReynolds.com for a free consultation. Cadell Reynolds, make the right call.
I was looking at the responses to your question. Are you confident? Are you feeling it now? And Jackson's confident, very confident, as a matter of fact. And
it's so Trump-like.
And
if I've seen that once, I've seen it 100 times on social media. Very, very confident.
Very, very confident.
As a matter of fact, very one of the best in the world. One of the most confident in the world.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's what that sounded like.
Some guy from the 918 says very optimistic, but he wants to beat LSU. That's the thing that I've heard from people is, man, if they didn't have to play LSU in that first game, I'd be a lot more confident.
Well, that's what
but
drove my question.
LSU's saying the same thing.
Right.
They're saying the same thing because you've got, it seems anyway, the two best teams, or at least two of the 3 or 4 best teams, playing one another right out of the gate, right after Arkansas has had to play Tennessee in a super regional. Now, I don't think that's accidental. In fact, I know it's not. So I think people would feel more confident if that game was out of the way.
I just think people were really nervous at the regional and the super regional, particularly the super regional, because you thought, dang, Tennessee's good. You've already beat them 2 or 3 times. They're going to come back in here. It's going to be tough to do that again on them. They're hitting really well. They're a good hitting team. They got the pitcher of the year. We're nervous. And I thought the crowd seemed nervous for the better part of those 2 games. And I'm not knocking anybody. That's not my point. I get it. I feel it. I mean, it's just tense. And you saw the pressure and the release and relief of the pressure from Dave Van Horn and the team following the game. But my question now is, because of this LSU matchup and what people are talking about, is do you feel confident? Because I've flipped. Like I woke up Sunday and was texting a friend like, man, that was a heck of a game yesterday. Today's going to be tough. I'm talking about game 2 against Tennessee. Today's going to be tough.
Right.
Well, I was dead wrong. I mean, they just ran out. I mean, that was hardly ever in doubt from the first pitch. The first pitch hit Davalon in the shoulder.
See, here's the thing
they
about
reviewed it and lost that.
Here's the thing that makes LSU a little bit different is that they have their first 2 pitchers are as good as any pitchers in America, better than 95% of them. That's why we saw in their regional down in Baton Rouge, they went 2-0, and then they got to that 3rd starter, and all of a sudden they were lucky to win that thing by the time it was all said and done. If we were playing LSU like later in the tournament, we're better than LSU. Overall, Arkansas is better than LSU. But facing those 2 pitchers one of them is not going to be an easy task.
So 100% accuracy on that statement. Now let's flip it over. You're the LSU pitchers. What are you thinking?
I got to face the best hitting team out there. So I mean, absolutely. LSU's talking about this too. I would be if I was them. And if you're an LSU fan, you're thinking, if we could beat Arkansas, I mean, and the way those pitchers have pitched, they got a reason to think they could. They're thinking, man, if we can beat Arkansas, we're going to win this thing. We're going to win this thing. And Arkansas is thinking, if we can get by LSU, we're going to win this thing. And both of them, or one of them is going to be right, I suspect.
I've shifted for whatever reason, and it's not even a conscious reason. It's just sort of happened. I'm just confident about this team. I was more on the nervous side of things if you're looking at it from an Arkansas perspective and you want them to win. So I was a little – I wasn't thinking they were going to lose the series, but it was just like I thought it was going to be tough, and you didn't know what was going to happen. I've just kind of moved into this, and maybe I'm prisoner of the moment, but I think it's more of just watching them all year. And you may remember after doing a couple of Hog Pods, I came in here and I said this team's approach is just different. Like the way they don't get too high or too low, the way they don't try to hit home runs, they try to hit missiles, they try to hit rockets, they try to hit line drives, and then some of them go out of the park. But that's how you hit for average and hit for home runs. Like the approach. This team doesn't strike out or chase as much. The pitchers grind. If one guy's not having a great game, somebody else comes along and does it. When you have a team where not everybody has to play great every night to win, I don't know how much better it can get than that. So I'm not saying all that. There's no guarantee. But just personally, I've shifted into being confident with this team. So when we talk about the LSU game, I don't look at it and go, oh, my gosh. I just expect them to go win the game. That's just sort of what they've conditioned me to think.
Well, they feel that way, and that's the most important thing. Evidently, they feel like they're going to win every time they go out there.
There's a lot to be said for that.
A lot of the things you talked about, exactly right. Common denominators among good teams. All of those things that you talked about. I think Arkansas's got better players. Just when you get right down to it, I thought we saw the more talented team, the better team win over the weekend. Nothing against Tennessee. They've got a really, really good team. But I think Arkansas was better. They were better going in, and that's why they won. Now, I know LSU got the best of them down there early on or a while back. But I think Arkansas right now is better than LSU overall. But when LSU has those first or second pitchers going, they're as good as anybody in America. And that's what makes this matchup so intriguing. Because, look, it's not like Root. I mean, he pitched about as well as a guy can pitch against a really good hitting team the other day. So It's going to be a great matchup, and the winner's in the driver's seat in that side of the bracket.
I'm going to do a hog pod with Root today.
Are you really?
With the goal of Tom Hart hearing it and mentioning me in
that's
game
going to
1
happen.
of the College World Series.
There's no question.
Is Tom Hart calling the College World Series? If he's not, I don't even know if I want to do it.
They always bring in Carl Ravage.
Oh gosh,
they always bring him in. I don't know if Tom Hart's doing it or not.
We've got our
He
A
should
team.
be. He should be.
We've got our A team.
ESPN does this a lot. The guys that like do it all year long that actually know the college game, they bench them for the guys.
Ravi's great. He's a professional, but I like we've got our people.
And I think Eduardo Perez, for example, is a great baseball analyst, but he doesn't follow college baseball all year long. He just doesn't. I'd rather hear Chris Burke. And I suspect Burke and Peterson will be on the call.
It should be Tom Hart, Kyle Peterson, and Chris Burke.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that's who's calling it. I'm saying that's who should be calling it.
Either way, I'm going to do a hog pod with Zach Root today.
Because they're the guys who you want calling the college baseball game.
Did you notice the new haircut?
Yeah,
he got a Vahiva.
Vahiva gave it to him.
That's right. He told him he
and
wanted
Vahiva's dad is coming up next. Jamie Aloy in studio when we come back on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville, inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
When is the last time you thought, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
What Arkansas has gotten out of the Aloy brothers in that lineup has been incredible.
Aloy crushed it. There it goes into left field, over the trees, out of here.
I just go up there, try to throw hard. No matter where it goes, it'll find a hole.
Hammered in the air, hit deep out to left field. How about a walk-off grand slam? Kahil Aloy with a big swing calls ball game.
SEC Player of the Year.
Softly hit, tough play. Aloy with the jump throw. Jeter-esque. Got him! Vahiva Aloy continues to amaze.
Being over here is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just get along.
Just having the same common goals, helping each other work towards it.
How about that?
That's
the
good.
Aloy brothers
That
right
was
there.
good. What a time.
Put that little piece together, and the Aloy brothers are going to Omaha together. Their dad, Jamie, is in here with us over from Maui in studio this morning. Jamie, thanks for stopping by. Good morning.
Aloha kakayaka, everybody.
Have you slept? Have you
Not
got any
much.
sleep since then?
Not much.
What's this like for you?
It's surreal. Can't believe it's happening, but it's happening. So, can't wait.
Thanks for stopping by the Chuck and Bo Show. You said surreal. You used that word in a text with me yesterday.
Yes, surreal and unreal. Can't believe it, really.
Like, what
it's
is
happening.
What, just because it's the dream, and you hope for this, and you plan for this, and you work for this, and
Yep, my sons are living part of their dream out, and we are participating with them. So, I believe somebody shared a picture with you this morning.
Yes, yeah. I was just going to bring that up. Brandon Long shared this picture.
On June 15th in 2019, I took them to watch a baseball game at the College World Series.
Yeah, they're little boys right there.
So,
yeah.
Arkansas was there in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know.
Did you ever think of it that way? Like maybe Arkansas one day?
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
As a dad, it was my desperate attempt to help them chase their dreams. So.
Well, I was going to ask you, when you were there, did you say, hey, we're going to be back here someday? Or was there any conversation like that?
Not at all. Not at all. It's just something I thought I needed to do with them. It's like a bucket list thing. As a dad, when I was a kid, I wished I could go watch a College World Series. And at the time, I think it was at Rosenblatt when I grew up their age at that time.
When you say help them chase their dreams, like you played college baseball, and that, from what you're saying, you didn't get to experience that, and then they were exposed to baseball at a young age, but when you say help them chase their dreams, and we've told the story before, but it's not like you had unlimited resources. They're playing on these big travel teams and showcases and getting all this exposure. But when you say helping them chase their dreams, what does that mean? What did that look like?
It looks like and smells like and hears like everything you hear, smell, and see at the actual event. That's what it is. My parents couldn't afford to, let alone send me to college. So for me growing up, I had to earn it. So I know what that pressure feels like. Because if I didn't get a full ride scholarship somewhere, I wouldn't be able to go to college. And then that would basically take me down another path. And so be it. So for me as a dad, I wanted to make sure that my kids, when they grow up, they can actually hear it, smell it, feel it, and all those things.
Wow.
So
that exposure.
Well,
yeah.
It becomes
I think it's part of that process where, especially being strategically or geographically like offset, so to speak, like living in Hawaii, we're not privy to like watching a professional game, let alone even a college game, not on our island, not on Maui. So either way, we would have to travel, so I figure why not take them to the College World Series. So we did.
And just to follow up, that must have been a stretch, like financially, to be
yeah.
like that's just no easy.
Yeah. Well, my wife didn't like it at first.
That's a
And
trip.
thought that we were crazy, but I mean, we look back at it now, and then we're believing, basically, and that's part of the conversation we have with our sons. Like, they have to believe what they're doing, and as parents, we have to help them believe, and then they'll achieve eventually. So that's what's happening. They believed it, they're still believing, and they're achieving.
There was a lot of hearing and smelling and feeling this past weekend for your kids. What did you think when Vahiva had that trophy and he takes off through the stands and all of a sudden the moment we all remember transpired?
I think that's a cultural thing. Our culture, we grew up always wanting to give back to people that give to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't surprised when he took the trophy and went into the stands, and he wanted to, give back to the people that gave to him. So he understands, it's only his second year, but he understands. He's been embraced by the people and the culture here. It's similar to the culture in Hawaii. The people are very welcoming. So are the people in Hawaii. And that's why they feel so comfortable here. Because they're being embraced by the community. So that's their way of, giving back and, as we say, kokuing them.
I think people maybe on the team
right
were surprised because Vahiva isn't as vocal as maybe some other guys. Not that he doesn't lead and not that he's not up front, but for him to take, nobody knew that was happening. That's going to be one of the most iconic moments in Razorback baseball history forever. It's never happened before. It might turn into some sort of tradition.
It might.
But that's never happened quite like that. There's been victory laps on the field, and you go wave at all the fans. But that just moment of instinct and doing that is something that anybody that was there will never forget, and it will live on in pictures and video forever.
Yeah, he don't say much, but I believe his actions speak louder than words. So that's just the type of personality he has. So
I'm interested in the baseball because you know the game. I mean, you play the game. Tell us about their development as players, how you went about that, being a dad, obviously, but also understanding that if you're going to do that, it's not, you got to, be good enough to do it. How did you manage all that?
It helped that I played baseball for a while.
Yeah. You know the game.
Yeah, I know the game.
So, I mean, you knew where they had to get to.
Even though I was speaking a different language when they were younger growing up, now we speak the same language.
Right.
So, and the game teaches you a lot about life. And for my wife and I, that's the bigger picture of it. Teaching them about life because they're at the end of the day, they're people. I've said that before. So, being a good person, for us is for the rest of their lives. Baseball can end today, but they'll still be good people. And I think it's just translation, that they understand the dynamic of how things should be. And when they play baseball, they're just trying to be the best baseball player they can be at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Aloy is with us, the father of Kahio and Vahiva, both first team All-SEC. Vahiva Player of the Year in the SEC. Now up for the Golden Spikes Award, the best player in all of college baseball. When you hear me say these things, I see a slight grin.
I can't believe it. The best college baseball player in all of the lands. Man, it's a real, tear-jerking, to actually think about the things that we were just talking about and to where we are right now. Yeah, it's unreal.
I was going to say, and I also notice how you are with the other guys. And I see the pictures, and there's not just you and your sons. It's like you have additional sons that are taking photos with you, metaphorically.
Oh, yeah.
And I just, for them to have this kind of year and be on this kind of team is another dynamic, because sometimes you can be great and have a great season and be a player of the year and not be on a team like this. What's the feel of just where this team is having gone 5-0 so far in the postseason?
Well, it's good vibes, basically. I know a lot of the boys go through the boys' apartment. They hang out there sometimes, and I think just by being around the boys and that good vibe energy, I mean, it's created a good culture, with the team. And if you play sports, you know how important culture is. And sometimes good teams don't have the culture, So I think that's going to take them a long way. I mean, obviously it has. So it's good culture. Like, we've been here for the past couple of days. We've been having some of the boys over for dinner. It's awesome.
I wonder about later in the week as you make the trip, and you think about 2019 and all this. What do you think it's going to be like when the game starts for you? Do you think about things like that when the game begins, or are you just focused on the game itself?
I try not to think about anything during the game but the moment. Mm-hmm. Because if I start thinking about all these different things, then I'm not present. And I talk to my sons about, even my daughter too, about being present, because whatever happened in the past, and you got no control over the future, and you got to be where your feet are. So I have to make sure I am where my feet are as well, as much as I tell them like that.
We're talking with Jamie Aloy, father of Kahio and Vahiva. Can you stick around for one more segment?
Yeah.
We got a few more things to get into, including how far these guys can hit a golf ball. that people just can't believe. I guess they were talking about it on the telecast over the weekend. Chuck and Bo Show at 7:45. Back in a minute. Good morning. When you went into the Hall of Fame, I think it was at a Western Sizzling.
I think it was. It was at a motel. It wasn't a hotel. It was a motel.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Yeah, does Chuck sleep that much? Because it just sometimes...
He's old, so, when you get old, you don't really sleep as much.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You need to run that tape back for me, because that didn't happen. Don't come at me with that crap.
Don't come at me.
Yeah.
Not up in here.
Yeah. You must have your shows mixed up. That didn't happen here, pal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
7:51. What a treat it is to have Jamie Aloy, father of Kahio and Vahiva, in studio with us. The story of the journey is just so fun to hear about and so fun to watch and kind of be along for the ride. One of the fun things that's been brought up, and I've seen videos you've shown me, I guess Kahio, Chuck, got kicked out of Topgolf back when he was at BYU.
It's too good.
Because he was hitting over the fence.
He's too good.
With that crappy
That's
club
never happened to me.
and those crappy golf balls. What is it with the strength and the hand-eye? And you were showing me videos back home in Hawaii. These guys, can they hit a golf ball 400 yards?
Yes, they can.
Every time, though?
I've witnessed it. I mean, maybe not every time, like, consistently.
It's
but they hit the golf
unbelievable.
ball straight and they hit the golf ball far.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, yeah, we've been asked to leave certain golf clubs because, it's dangerous.
I was talking to the club pro at Fayetteville Country Club yesterday, and I said, when the season's over, we need to bring Kahio out here, and we need to put him on the driving range, and he needs to hit it as far as he can hit it, and we're going to see what hole it lands on the actual course. And then you just mark it for people when they go by to say, yeah, this is where Kahio hit it off the driving range.
I mean, you're not going to claim that and not be able to do it. So they've been to, the golf simulators, and they've been around enough golf courses to know that, because everything's measured. So
yeah.
When did you know they were special athletically?
Probably when they're born.
Yeah, okay. All right. You just gotta have that feeling, huh?
Probably before they were born.
That's awesome.
All they needed was opportunity.
Hey, for them, what this journey's great. It's amazing. But there's also this pressure that I'm sure that any athletes put on themselves and then the expectations. And, we've seen this whole lineup this year, go through little spurts where it's great and then maybe not as great. One of the things to me that makes this team so fun is not everybody has to be on every night to have to win, to be really good. What is it like for them? Just kind of going through the ups and downs of baseball and you playing a role in there as a dad.
Well, it's like life. Life is up and down, right? So you got to learn how to embrace, your faults, your failures. And I think when you learn how to embrace those things, you learn how to live life. So it's something hard to learn. Because most kids, I believe these days, they don't know how to embrace failure. And I think that parents have a hard time, watching their kids fail. So for me, how I understand it, if you can kind of help your child through the failures in life from when they were young, when they get older, it can be like an energy for them. Like when I was growing up, I fed off of failure. Like it was, I liked the challenge, knowing that I gonna fail like 9 out of 10 times. So if I fail, even if I failed one more time, 10 out of 10, I'll make sure it'll be 9 out of 10 the next time, then 8 out of 10, then 7, 6, and then to 0.
Yeah,
and that's how my children, well, my sons are. That's their.
You can see it.
Yeah, they embrace it. So
Yeah.
we don't talk about it because they know, and I don't want to put any more pressure on them than there already is.
Jamie, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you very much.
We're looking forward to watching
Have a
you
great
guys
trip.
at Omaha.
Have a great trip. Hope you have fun. Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Jamie Aloy in studio with us. Cahillo and Vahiva's father. Almost 8 o'clock on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. There are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Have you guys, by the way, have you ever been on the Tilly Willy Bridge?
I have, yes. How does Tom Hart know about the Tilly Willy Bridge?
Yeah, so the game ended, the final game of the series ended last week, and I just wanted to decompress, roll down my windows, listen to some Tyler Childers, drive around, and I saw the Tilly Willy Bridge on a map, and I went, man, that's where I'm going. I'm going to go check out Tilly Willy Bridge. And I got there, and wouldn't you know, it's just a bridge.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, let's start on the Chuck and Bo Show.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Maddox.
What were you kind of thinking in that moment?
Just a little bit of relief, to be honest with you. The last couple of years have been a little tough, and losing on your own field. So, relief.
Yeah.
True. I guarantee you.
You know, when you ask Dave Van Horn a question, you get a real answer. You get a real answer from DVH.
You really do.
He has been upfront about this. And, man, that was just really a joy to have Jamie Aloy in studio.
What a time for their family. I mean, what a time.
Well, again, being in on the story and hearing about the journey, to me, is one of the great things about sports. You know, the humanization of it and pulling for someone to make it in their dream. And they happen to play for a team that you're a big fan of and you want to see win. And this team is full of stories like that and full of guys like that. There is a culture about this team that's different. You know, people have talked about how talented they've been in the past and maybe didn't just have all of the things that this team has. And again, that's why one of the reasons Van Horn talked about being emotional when they won the Super Regional was because he didn't want to have this team with all these pieces and all these good guys and culture. In this approach, not have a trophy. And at least they're going to Omaha, and at least the season will end in Omaha.
Well, and, you know, again, it may be our expectation for them to go to Omaha every year, but it is really, really hard to get there. And sometimes you operate on the assumption, well, we'll be back, but you don't always know that it won't be the last time. And so, that's right. You know, I'm sure that for Dave Van Horn and other members of the staff, and I'm sure it's this way on a lot of teams. You don't want to fail the kids that you're coaching. You don't want to fail them. And you want to help them be as good as they can be, and you feel like they're good enough to go. So, and look, it's not just Dave. Every coach I've ever worked around, worked with, worked for, there's a lot more relief in winning than joy. It's a shame that it's that way. But I think that's pretty much universal now, that there's so much pressure on these guys to win that when you win, the joy lasts for a short time, and then the relief just takes over.
Is this the first year Arkansas has gone to the College World Series as the favorite to win it all? I don't know if there's been a time where they were the favorite.
There was.
I think I want to say 2018.
Yeah,
Kerstad,
the favorite.
Yeah,
group.
Yeah.
No, 2018.
Oh, 2018.
Yeah.
Shaddy and all those guys.
Yeah,
Cronin.
Yeah.
They were favorite. I want to say if they weren't the favorite, they were at least picked by several national media members.
Oregon State was a very popular pick then too.
Yeah, it was,
By
it was
the
kind
way,
of a toss-up.
I don't know if Oregon State's good enough to get to the championship.
But you sure would like to see that.
I don't know if they're good enough to beat Coastal Carolina, but that would be fun.
They're on the opposite side of the bracket.
Yeah. I mean, it could
it
could happen.
I feel like that's the way this thing's got to go.
You think?
Right?
Yeah,
I feel like that's the way it's got to go.
For the world to be right.
Yeah, I think that's how it has to be, man.
Yeah.
Like, why not, right? Like, let's just write the story.
Well, they play Coastal Carolina at 1:00 on Friday, and I mean, you never know how it's going to go. But given the way the teams have been playing. If Oregon State wins that game, they've beaten the hottest team in the tournament. I mean, Coastal Carolina's won 23 in a row.
They would play in the winner's bracket game on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. Arizona plays Coastal Carolina.
Well, then we got a misprint. We got a misprint.
Arizona, Coastal Carolina.
See,
Oregon
right
State,
here,
Louisville.
the Omaha 8, right
You're
here.
right.
We've got
You're
a
right.
misprint.
You're right. You're right.
Send it back.
I've made a mistake.
Send it back.
I've made a mistake.
See,
Yeah.
when one person screws up, the whole thing falls apart.
I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And for that, I apologize.
And well, we got the bracket, but the print's so small. I mean, it's like you got to have a magnifying glass to read this.
Look at that.
Look, I'll take the arrow in the foot.
No, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
It is.
Don't beat yourself up,
can't-
Bart.
you can't play a game.
Just
That's
because you made us look like fools. I don't want you to beat your.
It screws
We
up.
can-
The whole
we-
thing
we
falls
can-
apart. Let's talk about our culture.
Who do we blame when things go wrong? Do we play the blame game?
Yeah, that's what doesn't happen with this baseball team.
I took responsibility, okay?
I struck out because he struck out. If he hadn't struck out, I wouldn't have struck out either.
That's exactly right.
It's your fault. By the way, this is the first time since 1957, according to Bart Pullman and Brandon Long,
Yeah. Bart had it in the notes.
that a team did not return to the College World Series from the year before. None of the 8 teams that were there last year will be there this year.
That was pointed out by one of our partners in a text, and Bart holds up the show prep page, and it's already up there. But, of course, we didn't get to the second page.
No. Well,
I didn't get to the
Well, you
second
rarely
page.
do.
Well,
Let's
we were
be
hung up-
honest.
we were hung up on the misprint on
Let's be
page
honest.
1.
Yeah.
Well, all morning long,
Okay,
I thought,
one-
man, Oregon
one-
State, Coastal Carolina is
one
going to be a good
typo.
game. I got to be sure to mention that.
One typo in the history of the show. One typo.
Well,
That's why it
it's
stands
like
out.
carried away.
That's why it stands
we
out.
had a few dates that were wrong. Is it June 10th? Is it June 10th?
Yes, it is.
Remember you got a day off, and it was a
One
day off for a
time.
freaking week.
Oh, it was not.
Yeah, I didn't know what day it was for a week. I was a day behind. Oh, man. It's National Forklift Day, if you haven't heard. We're excited.
National Egg Roll Day as well. That's in the notes.
National Tony Vitello Day on the Chuck and Bo Show.
At 8:30.
Chuck and Bo, welcome Tony Vitello to the show at 8:30.
That'll be good.
I'm looking
That'll
forward
be
to
interesting.
it. Jamie Aloy was awesome.
He was
I'm
good.
sure Tony will be great. Dave Van Horn is the 12th coach to lead his team to the College World Series 10 or more times
Is that in the notes?
in the history of baseball. It's on the front page.
Okay.
Only college baseball's all-time
Yeah, there it is.
winningest coach.
Yeah.
The late Mike Martin at Florida State had more postseason wins, 156. Without a national championship, Van Horn's got 92. And, that stat about
Yeah, I don't
Since
know if you know this,
2009.
but since 2009, Arkansas has never gone longer than 3 years without a trip to Omaha. You know how many other teams have done that?
Zero.
Zero.
Nobody else can say
exactly
that.
right.
That's shareable.
That is.
That's shareable content right there. The game's at 6 o'clock on ESPN, LSU and Arkansas. And not that this means anything. It's just my feeling. I don't care who they play. I don't care if it's LSU. I don't care who they play the next game. I don't care who they play the next. I don't look at these games and go, I hope they don't have to play that team. I mean, they've already done it all. They've already played everybody.
I agree.
I mean, I'm not saying you can't run into a pitcher that's really tough, but they're running into a lineup that's really tough.
They got to play the Razorbacks too, baby. David's in Cersei.
I've switched to confidence, is what I'm saying. I've switched from cautious to confidence.
I know you have. David.
Just me.
You're
David
on the
and
Chuck
Cersei.
and Bo Show.
David.
Good morning, guys. First of all, I believe Arkansas is the number 3 national seed.
Yep.
LSU, unless I'm mistaken, is number 5. And then you got Oregon State, number 8. That's the 3, top national seeds in there. And naturally, I believe it's a pile of crap that we have to start out playing LSU. But we're going to have to beat them sometime. So we might as well have to beat them the first game. My question is, when the super regionals are set, does someone make the decision, hey, the Fayetteville winner, we're going to put them against the Baton Rouge winner? How do they do that? I'd like to know.
Well, it's the bracket.
That's really all I called you for.
It's before it all starts. I mean, they set the bracket.
Thank you.
It's just part of the bracket. Yep. That's all.
But they set the bracket like they do in the NCAA basketball tournament, and so you have certain regionals are matched up. The number 1 national seed, their regional is matched up against the number 16 national seed, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, walk us through the rest of it.
No, I'd rather not.
2-15.
Yeah. I think people get the idea. Yeah. I mean,
Which is interesting because Tennessee was the 14th seed, and that's
Right.
how that got matched up.
Right. And then it just plays out. And so LSU is the number 6 national seed. And so 3-6, they match up in Omaha if it plays out that
Got any questions for Bart? He's in the Chevy of Fayetteville situation.
No, I'm just
877
I'm going over the bracket, hoping it's right.
6963.
And just trying to size up some of these games. I'm joking, man.
So all right, take me through a win and a loss scenario, Bart.
Okay, so
Arkansas, LSU. The next game would be what?
So if Arkansas wins on Saturday, they play again Monday night against the winner of UCLA Murray State. If the Razorbacks were to lose the first game, they play Monday afternoon against the loser of UCLA and Murray State.
So either way, they're playing again on Monday.
Correct.
They'll continue to play at night if they win, and they'll move to an afternoon game on Monday should they lose.
You win the first 2 games in Omaha, you're in a really good spot.
If they win the first 2, they don't play again until Wednesday night. And if they win that, they're in the championship series. Yeah. So, I mean,
it's set up. This might be a good way to explain it to fans, especially those who were up here last weekend. It's set up just like a regional.
You've got 2 4-team regionals.
And then a super regional.
That's exactly right.
That's how it's set up. That's how the games are played. That's the schedule.
If you're thinking about the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room, you can text, you can call, whatever. Bart will have answers for you.
He will.
Not just today. This is not a one-time thing, but any day. Hey, have you been thinking about a new ride? Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off summer drive deals with some of the best offers you're going to see all year. You can drive off in a brand new Trailblazer starting at just $23,000 or grab a Colorado for $30K. Both packed with serious value. And if you've had your eye on an EV, the Equinox EV is finally here. Sleek, efficient, starting at just $30,000 no matter what you're looking for. These deals are real, but they're not going to last forever. Don't wait around. Head over to Chevy of Fayetteville inside the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. 8:14, Tony Vitello in about 15 minutes. Kids, there's never a good deal good enough with a bad person. Still a bad deal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
By the way, those are all gambles. Those are all raffles to some extent. They're all gambles.
Life is one big raffle.
It is.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, Tony Vitello in just a few minutes. Tennessee head coach. 877-377-6963 if you want to get in here. Arkansas, LSU, 6 o'clock on Saturday. That's been set. Now, we mentioned yesterday that Arkansas basketball was going back to New York. We thought they were going to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that's what
to play Houston.
Did I read that?
Well, I thought that's what was said.
Yeah.
But be that as it may, they're going to play in Brooklyn.
At the Barclays Center.
Yeah, not at
where the Nets play.
Not at Madison Square Garden. Still big.
Still within New York City.
And then
they're playing Houston.
They're playing Houston. I mean, that could be number 1, number 2, it's probably going to be a top 5 matchup, you would think, certainly top 10. It'll be, and it's on December 20th. So I'm going to guess that'll be the last game before Christmas.
I love that. I think we should play Houston more often in everything.
I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah.
It'll be great. Houston's
Southwest
got a lot of
Conference.
stuff back. Houston's got a lot of players back from last year.
Their basketball
Arkansas
program's
does.
great.
Arkansas is playing Duke in Chicago on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Day.
And then on the 20th, they're going to go to Brooklyn and play Houston. I mean, this is what you really want, I think, as a fan. You want to have huge games. You want to feel like you're a really good team playing in huge games. That's I'm just like where the difference in the way Arkansas baseball feels, the way Arkansas basketball feels. I mean, do we know how to be front runners at Arkansas? Well, do we know what we're doing here? Do we know how to be like, wow, we're kind of big time. Like, we're playing in big national games, and we're the favorite to win the College World Series. I mean, you kind of walk around today. It's like you hold the door open a little bit longer at the Maverick.
Yeah. Well, you guys.
Because that's where adventure begins.
That's where adventure does begin.
You guys too young to remember when they won it all in '94. Everybody had a T-shirt for every day of the week. You'd go on vacation, and that's how you knew the people were from Arkansas. They were wearing their national championship shirt. And if Arkansas wins this baseball tournament, it'll be just like that. Here's the thing about basketball: you got to find a way to make non-conference play interesting. You can't say, man, I can't wait to get that non-conference schedule out to find out what game North Carolina A&T is coming to town.
Yeah, which one?
It's we gotta, we're gonna play so and so. That's kind of marquee. Hey, when you're playing Duke in the United Center on Thanksgiving Day, that's marquee. Yeah. When you're playing Houston in the Barclays Center in New York, that's marquee, and that's interesting. That makes non-conference scheduling fun. Because you're playing in those games.
That's how you get fans to buy in earlier in the season. Instead of just waiting till conference play.
You don't have the family annual Lipscomb game on your schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, you're still going to play some of those games, and you're going to try to find the teams that are going to win their conference maybe and make the NCAA tournament or favorites.
But you have some big games along the way.
But having more of these big marquee games.
And they're playing Baylor in there somewhere to be announced.
And an ACC team in the SEC ACC Challenge. I know, maybe North Carolina. So that's what gets fans excited and gets them bought in early in the basketball season.
I was thinking last night, do they still have that aircraft carrier game? You remember when they played an aircraft on an aircraft carrier?
They do that
would be
anymore.
cool.
They did play
that would be awesome. That's
you want to call a game from an aircraft?
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Now that you got rid of Madison Square Garden,
check that off the list. Now let's go to the aircraft carrier game.
All right.
Why don't you go down to the next meeting and just say, hey, guys, I got a bucket list of places I'd like to call games while you're at it.
Let's get on that aircraft carrier.
Cal might be like, that's a great idea. I hadn't thought about that.
That would be fun.
I want to go, what are they, next year they'll probably be in Maui.
We're coming
Something
up
like
on that on
the
rotation.
About the time to go back to one of these.
Well, right now, that tournament right now is being played in Honolulu. They've not moved it back to Maui yet. Maybe that'll come soon. I hope so.
By the way, John Rothstein, who's a college basketball aficionado for CBS Sports. I mean, nobody eats and drinks and sleeps more college basketball.
He does.
Gosh. I mean, it's all he does. He says Arkansas has the second best roster only to Florida in college basketball.
That's probably accurate.
I wouldn't disagree with that, at least on the surface. I can't think off the top of my head about who might be better.
Well, here's the thing. We mentioned some of these games that Arkansas is playing. Duke and Chicago. Duke 10-1 co-favorites to win the national title right now. Houston 11-1 to win the national title right now. You just mentioned Florida, who Arkansas will play in conference, 17-1 to win the national title. Arkansas 20-1. So I mean, these we're talking about one of the best teams in the country playing the other best teams in the country.
That's pretty good value on Arkansas right now. I mean, if you think they're that good in terms of the roster they have.
I like these made-for-TV games too. You know, that game Thanksgiving will be massive. You'll have a massive audience for that game. You'll have a really good audience for the December 20th game, but it'll be massive on Thanksgiving Day.
877-377-6963 if you want to text or call the show. This is one of those moments where, you know, basketball is exciting, baseball is exciting. People are still asking me about football. I'm not like, just real quick, we're not going to get into this right now, but real quick, if you made me pick right now, I'd still go over the 5.5.
Oh, I would too.
But I think a lot of people are just looking at the schedule, and Memphis is tough, and Arkansas State, and I expect them to win those games. And I'm still excited to see what the retooled offensive line of Taylor Green and Bobby Petrino coming back looks like.
You know what the theme of the show today is? Bo expects to win. Expect to win.
Yeah.
There you go.
I didn't know.
Stuff.
I've asked people how they feel. That's just how I feel.
I think it's
but
good.
Especially with baseball.
I think it's
this,
good.
This idea of being nervous. I mean, just go be confident.
I agree with you.
Like, there's no point in being nervous. I mean, they are like, you can't guarantee outcomes. But who would you rather be? Like, if you could change uniforms and just like put other guys on it, would you want anybody else? Would you rather have any other team?
Nope.
I mean, that's a pretty good feeling. Again, How to Be a Front Runner, another book Bart can write.
Hey, let me talk about Hog Trough Gutters. Speaking of front runners, man, they're out in front of everybody when it comes to storm season.
Yeah, no Johnny-come-latelys.
No, we're going through it right now. There are people all over the state that they weren't here a few weeks ago, but since there's been bad weather, they're like vultures. They just come into the state and they ask for deposits, and then you never see them again. That's not going to happen with Hog Trough Gutters. They're a local company. They've been around for 30 years. They're licensed. They're licensed Arkansas contractors, fully insured. Every job comes with a written 20-year warranty. You should not have to pay up front for guttering work. Seamless gutters, trenching, French drains, all done right the first time, all done on site. So visit hoggutters.com.
BE in Clarksville, could you kindly pass a message along to Tony for me?
Mm-hmm.
In the off chance he heard me screaming obscenities through the TV, I am so sorry. I am assured it was the alcohol that enticed me to do it, and for that I'm embarrassed. Thank you. Tony Vitello joins us next. I want to see you and Bart in the old three-legged race.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Let me just...
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeickerGriffin.com.
At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at stonebreakerhotel.com.
I'm amazed at the number of people who think they're smart.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I was just thinking this morning on the drive in, boy, it's going to be nice to see Chuck. And I don't usually think that.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Man, it was an emotional weekend at Baum Walker Stadium. Tony Vitello was right in the middle of it as Tennessee's national championship defending coach. Kind enough to join us on the Chuck and Bo Show. Coach, thanks so much for making time for us. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys. No sweat. Matt Zimmerman is a guy who I would do anything for.
He's been the go-between.
Yeah, it may be awkward to have, I guess, the enemy on or the enemy hooking up here, but I would do anything for that guy. And he brought it up. And I don't want to steal your guys' format, but I will tell you this. I've thought ahead, and there's probably some people in the state of Arkansas that hate the fact I'm even on the airwaves there. So I got something to keep those people happy real quick. A short story after the game. I went to the team meal in the lobby. I was sick to my stomach. I thought I could have done better over the weekend. I was distraught we lost and all that, so I couldn't eat. So I went to the room, just stared at the TV, wasn't even on. Eventually, the starvation hit me. So I went to an old go-to U.S. Pizza, and I used DoorDash. Well, when it got delivered to the door and I picked it up, it had a big WPS exclamation point on it. So, and my name's on DoorDash. I'm faced, and you guys can choose your own end of the story. Do I eat this food or not was the big question. I opened it. I smelled it. I looked at it. I had a big old salad I didn't even touch. I ate half the pizza and figured, if I get food poisoning or whatever, so be it. There was a few more details. I messaged the DoorDash guy, and it was him, and we actually had a friendly go back and forth. But, that's how the trip ended. So, for any Tennessee haters, they get a kick out of that problem.
That's like reminiscent of the Michael Jordan, what we thought was a flu game, and found out on the Last Dance that it wasn't a flu game. It was the Utah pizza delivery.
Yeah, when the competition heats up, it's not just the players and the coaches that are involved; it's everybody, and that was the case this weekend. I think if anything, our guys need to be on a mission next year to play in our home environment, which is also it's a different kind of rowdy. But like Oxford, like Baton Rouge, like Fayetteville is incredibly advantageous to play at home.
Tony,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say yesterday we had Clay Goodwin on for a little while yesterday, and that word respect just kept coming up over and over and over again. The respect that these two staffs have for one another. Fans yell and scream, and that's part of what makes it fun. But the respect on the staffs, I just wondered if you'd talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I think it's hard to put into words, in a short amount of time because there's so many members. Coach Elander was at Arkansas, was for a short while, but people probably don't realize how big of an impact he had on the offense there with guys like Chad Spanberger. I'm still learning. I need to get better, but I think the one thing people know is I've always tried to work hard. And then Coach Van Horn is the best coach in college baseball. It's not really opinion. If you dig into it, it's fact. And while I played with Matt Hobbs and have a ton of admiration for him, and his career is only going to get better with all the things he racks up, I think he would agree Frank, to date, has the best resume as any pitching coach in the country. So there's some talent there. There's a lot of work ethic, but I think at the end of the day, you also just got a lot of good people that really enjoy each other when it's away from the battlefield. And then the best way you show appreciation, in my opinion, as a player is to play hard and not lack passion. And sometimes here that goes over the line, and guys like Fish, can get scrutinized a little bit. But I think, in order to go against your brother or whoever it is in competition, the best respect you can show them is to try and beat them and try and make it as competitive as possible.
What was it like for you? And I hear you being self-critical, and then I see you, doing things where people criticize you for it. And, we played along. Tony Vitello, the villain, coming to Fayetteville with Tennessee against the superheroes, the Razorbacks. I mean, this was theater this past weekend, and I just kind of wonder what that was like for you, because I do know how much you appreciated your time at Arkansas and all the things you just mentioned.
Yeah, it was frustrating. It was theater, and all the way down to ESPN making it a big deal. The people deserved a third game, a rubber match, and I truly thought with our first two starters that would come. I think Liam doing what he did for us on the Monday game affected, our rotation, and more importantly, how he could go out there for us. Probably should have left him out there longer. But the bottom line is, it was an epic matchup, and it was one where we were the true underdog. Home field advantage matters, but also that series we played, y'all, in the regular season. I'm a baseball guy, so I believe in, not saying too many things out loud that you'd regret or you'd jinx something. But that was a pretty special group. I recognized across the field, and we thought they could do special things.
Let me ask you, Tony, about the teams that are left, specifically Arkansas and LSU. You've had a ringside seat for both. I mean, what do you think about that matchup?
I think the difference is the lineup, and I think the depth of arms maybe doesn't come into play with game one. But, you guys know it's like a regional all over again. And, for us, we maybe didn't have as much depth on the mound as we wanted or as much as Arkansas has. So we had to go back to Liam on that Monday game, for instance, and had to recycle a couple other guys. I think the lineup is a little more threatening, 1 through 9 for Arkansas, and there's a greater depth in arms. But this time of year, it is chaos. And you guys know this with basketball. You guys have had some good runs, but also fallen short. Crazy things have happened. I think the new March Madness in the NIL era, because if you look at the NCAA basketball tournament, it was 4 number 1 seeds that were at the end. NIL, only 1 or 2 players can really affect something. In baseball, there's so many different moving parts. And if a guy like Root gets into that mode that he's in, it's tough to derail that storyline that he's going to be the winner. So anybody can do that as a pitcher, especially game one going into that deal. We played Florida State last year, and they had that Jamie Arnold kid who might go first in the draft this year, and we just got to him. I don't know how, but we got to him, and that affected, our path to being able to do some things there. But I like Arkansas in the matchup. I like the fact that instead of going to Baton Rouge and having all their fans, it will be the 2 biggest fan bases there will be Arkansas and LSU. But it's playoff time and it's chaos. And I think the one thing I would say about my former boss and Coach Van Horn, you can't judge a coach like Rick Barnes based off how a tournament goes because, again, crazy things can happen, and you need breaks this time of year to get what you want. But if you look at a whole body of work, he's the winningest coach out there by percentage. And I think I'll go out on a limb, and I don't know if it's okay to share with you guys. From my perspective, from being there, I think his loyalty to the university has been taken advantage of a little bit, and I hope they make it obvious that that's where he's going to end his career, and I hope they reward him for what he's done because you don't judge these things on trophies and SEC championships. It's how you go about your business, and also our game is a game of percentages. You judge it over a whole body of work, and I don't think anybody can beat his.
Sometimes it takes hearing something like that from somebody who's not spoiled and seeing it every day. And for someone who watched it, worked under it, was a part of it, then went on to take that and whatever else you learned throughout your career, then go win the national championship at Tennessee. I'm interested to hear more of your perspective. What is it about DVH? And I know it's a big conversation, but maybe you could sum it up that maybe sometimes we forget or don't realize about what's happened here.
Yeah, no, it is a long conversation, but it's also frustratingly short because people wanted to know what's the secret sauce or how was it there, or why don't you just do what they're doing there here at Tennessee? And it's the genius is in the simplicity, and then also he just has tremendous instincts and has a little bit of a gift. And I saw that as a player at Missouri. My butt was riding the bench. I wanted to be on the field, but I also wanted to be a coach. So I studied and watched him and Augie a lot, and he had Rob Childress was a phenomenal pitching coach, just like Jorney was when I was there at Arkansas. Another guy I miss a ton. But it's tough to put your thumb on exactly what makes him good. But he's incredibly competitive. He keeps it simple. never sweats the small stuff, is always very confident, and the players can sense that. And I've been guilty at times as a young coach, not being confident or rushing things, or I don't want to say panicking, but the players can sense what you got going on. And as a Razorback, you have no option other than to keep things simple, compete your butt off, play hard, and also expect to win. And so what you get is a winning product year in and year out. And yeah, SEC fans, there's too much negativity. But also, you know what? The fans there, they should boo and they should not like me and all that stuff. But other than outliers, you hear the loud voice of, hey, you're an idiot or this, that, and the other. But on the whole, the people were awesome to me. They give you crap, but then also say, hey, we liked when you were here, whatever. And it's the same thing with critics. Like at University of Mississippi, the loud voices criticize Coach Bianco just because their year ends shorter than they wanted to. And everybody in the SEC always wants more. But the regular average or majority of fans know Coach Bianco, he created that thing out of dust. And he also won a national championship. So as great as he's done there, I don't mind saying Coach Van Horn has done better for Razorback Nation. And again, I think people get spoiled and don't realize how good they have it. And sometimes you look for what you don't have instead of enjoying what you do have. And you got a spoiled fan base there, and they should recognize that.
Yeah, I got to ask you too before you get out of here. Tennessee wasn't dust, but it was pretty close when you got there. They had some history, but it was not recent history. How'd you do it so fast?
Hired good people, and then the one thing I truly learned from Coach Van Horn and enjoyed working there for him was he let his people work. So if you're going to do that, you better be meticulous and make sure you hire the right person so then you can implement what DVH does and stay out of their way when it's their category. And he's active in everything, but again, he lets his people do their thing and gives them breathing room. So not only can you do your job as well as you can, but you also enjoy the work environment. So I think hiring the right people was huge. I try and stay out of their way, and it is a bunch of people that, again, I in particular need to get better, but there's a lot of work dumped into it. And then also, as you mentioned, Coach Delmonico, there were years that were really good here. Mm-hmm. The ingredients are here to have success. So it's not like we're the greatest underdog story of all time. It's in the best conference. Knoxville's a phenomenal city. Our fan bases, it's different than the other ones. I don't know how you compare or say one's better than the other, but the ingredients are here. So we're just trying to capitalize on all those things.
Tony, you've experienced something hardly anybody has, and that's win a national championship. And what comes with that is the gauntlet of the regional, the super regional, and then do it all over again in Omaha. What's ahead to try to navigate this, having just gone through it?
Yeah, your path matters, and playing at home was huge, and we're guilty of not making it harder on you all, but, you guys have not had to sweat that much yet, as much as some teams have, and that matters because it's a very stressful and long process, especially if you can continue on. And then when you get there, there's so many things to navigate, extra media, tickets, paying attention to social media's opinion. Somehow our guys did a phenomenal job on their own, leadership of older guys, of just limiting distractions and staying focused on what they were trying to do. And then you got to ride the wave of emotion. And I think we had an overly emotional team at times this year, whereas the year before we were much more even-keeled. We were down 4 runs to Florida State, and our guys were acting like it was a tie game. And I think that's one of the things that led to that comeback in our first game was not panicking or not stressing or not getting over-emotional. Because, again, if you're there till the last game, it's a really long stay. So you have to kind of manage all the different things so that when you're on the field, you can play your best. And that's who's going to win, whoever plays best on that day. It might not be the best team. It's just going to be the team that continually plays the best on each day.
You kind of alluded to this, and as we get out of here, I'm going to read this text to you, as people can call or text the show, and we've gotten apology text coming in for Tony Vitello. Could you kindly
not me?
Yeah, here you go. Could you kindly pass a message along to Tony for me? In the off chance he heard me screaming obscenities through the TV, I am so sorry. I'm assured it was the alcohol that enticed me to do it, and for that I'm embarrassed. Thank you. B.E. in Clarksville.
I appreciate that greatly, but you know what? I've cut back on sipping on some adult beverages. But when you have a few, to me, you get permission to kind of make some errors. You get a mulligan, if you will. But also, our fan bases are what makes this league so great, and it should be rowdy, you know. And at the end of the day, I think the smart thing, and one thing that can help the Razorback baseball team, is the fans are great, but they're not in the inner circle. And the inner circle is the only opinion, Coach Van Horn from the top down, that's the only opinion that should matter truly. And like I said in the presser, all those, hate words or whatever, because you're supporting your team. And at the end of the day, the scoreboard is what puts you in a good mood or not. So here's to Arkansas being in a good mood the rest of the way. And here's to us looking at that last scoreboard we saw and using it as motivation in the offseason.
Well said. Tony Vitello, Tennessee
Thank
head
you, Coach. That's
Can't
terrific.
thank you enough. That was awesome. We appreciate it.
No, always a fan of you two guys when I was there, and of course a fan of a lot of things when I was there. I love U.S. pizza, especially when it's not tampered with, and a lot of other good places there. So
that's
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you, Tony.
Best wishes to you. Thanks, Tony. That was awesome.
That was good.
Good stuff. 8:48. We got to hit a break. Thanks to Tony Vitello for joining us.
He's Chuck Barrett.
He's Bo Mattingly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, summer's heating up, and Splash Car Wash is keeping your ride looking fresh with a special deal just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Wash and get 2 free. One for you, one for your spouse, one for a friend, or just keep them all. It's an easy way to stay clean, cool, and cruising all summer long. That's 3 top-tier washes for just $27. Text Splash Car Wash to 22322 to access this exclusive online-only offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
So I spent yesterday. You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know much about new items, really. I mean, I go to the store. I see lots of things that baffle me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wasn't that good?
Oh, yeah. He can talk. He can
win him over,
baby, right out of your hand.
He can win him over now.
Give your kid to him.
Hey.
But we know him, and we knew that. I mean, we knew it would be great, and that was it's a great perspective. And thanks to Matt Zimmerman, who has
the go-between.
Been great friends.
They were at Missouri together.
Vitello forever.
When Matt was on Anderson's staff at Mizzou, Vitello was an assistant coach there for baseball.
He's the PR agent.
Yeah,
and,
he's his agent.
We got it set up, and no, it was kind of both of them.
Yeah, it really was.
Really.
Tony didn't have to do that.
No. That's
he could have said no.
I love the perspective. I love hearing that side of it. And he's eaten up by not having played better here. And for him to come on and do the show was
that's the thing. I mean, he's grieving. He's grieving his season right now.
He's not just dying inside.
Yeah, and so that was.
But they won the national championship last year. Great to see and hear that perspective.
It's this is still a people business. I mean, we make villains out of everyone, and that's part of it. But it's interesting to hear sometimes that maybe they're not so bad after all.
I know Brent's on hold. Brent, we have 30 seconds. I'm so sorry. We've just been wall to wall today.
No problem, Bo. I'm outside your building. I got your T-shirt.
Yes.
Coming down to see you, Brent.
Boy small.
You want a donut?
No, I got you a medium.
No, but would you like a donut?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right.
We'll be down there in a minute.
Want to show up empty-handed.
That's awesome.
Well, now's a good time to tell you that Flight by Yingling has skinny cans.
Yeah.
I got a skinny Flight by Yingling and a medium Coaches in the Mouth podcast T-shirt from Brent. I mean, it's Tuesday. What a day. Omaha bound.
That's service.
Hey, raise a Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar. It's the next generation of light beer. Ask about it at your favorite restaurant. Wherever you go, say, hey, I'll have a Flight. Light beer that tastes like a Yingling. Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on